The tough part with this is that who do you trust? You have all of this information on the internet. There's all these different television programs and channels today that are flooding us with all sorts of information. So we don't really know where to go, who to trust, and it becomes really difficult for us as individuals to try to figure out exactly what information is believable and what is not.
Or they're looking at retirement and they're not quite sure how to get there, what they're going to do to get there.
So today I think the biggest concerns facing retirees is that it just seems like everything's much more complicated. Most of our investment decisions are based on our emotions. Believe it or not, age 90 to 99 is the fastest growing age group in our population. Then on top of that, people are retiring earlier. There's a lot of research that shows the average American spends as much time planning their vacation or a holiday as they do for retirement. And to me, that's very scary, right? We all need to be prepared for our future. When do I take Social Security? Do I have enough to cover medical costs? Am I going to run out of money at some point? What will inflation look like in the future? We also have taxes. We have volatile markets. We have to figure out what's the best way to manage my investment portfolio. I think these are all things that everyone wants to know before they make that big step into retirement.
A lot of people have had poor experiences, I think, so they're very concerned that they don't have that experience, that they know we're going to be here when we need them, we're going to do a good job with their money.
And so we really want to make sure that they have a good understanding, they're well prepared, but most importantly, they're confident so that when they enter their retirement years, they know they're going to be able to live the lifestyle that they've worked hard to achieve. So I grew up on a farm, and if you've ever grown up on a farm, you know that it's a given that you're going to dedicate a lot of time on and around the farm. And so as a kid, I helped after school and summer days picking rocks in the field. And there's a lot of buildings on our farm, and for some reason every summer I spent a fair amount of time repainting those buildings white. My dad is a corn and soybean farmer, and so in the fall when it became harvest time, I'd help my dad by working in the combine or just driving him from field to field as they were going through harvest. But one thing I was fortunate for is that my parents actually paid me something for the work that I did. I don't think it was because I was a great worker. I think it was because they were trying to instill some values of how do I budget, how do I save. And to be honest, I didn't even realize it at the time, but they really created a good foundation for me as far as being a good steward of my own money. So obviously, as I became more curious about the industry, I was very fortunate enough that I landed an internship with Merrill Lynch at the age of 19. And so that started to give me a view of what the industry was really like. And what I started to see was it didn't always seem like the client's interest was always being put forth. It was always about selling high fee or high commission products. And it didn't seem like there was as much thorough analysis done on the front end for people. And so I finally realized that I wanted to have a little bit more control over what I did. I was actually able to find an opportunity to go independent and really not have any proprietary products, services, and I could really just focus on doing the right thing for people and do what I felt was best for them. When I look at financial planning and farming, surprisingly, there are a lot of very similar characteristics, and really what it ends up being is we're planning for the unknown. With farming, you have things like the weather, volatile prices of the different crops. There's really a lot of factors that play into having a successful crop at the end of the year. And then when you take that and look at retirement, it's the same as true. Whether it's longevity, retiring earlier, our living expenses change over the course of time, your medical costs may change over the course of time. The markets are volatile. We don't know exactly how much rate of return we need on our money. All these are unknown variables, and that's really one of the main similarities between farming and financial planning.
So, in a simple sense, there's really two types of investments.
Whether you're very wealthy or not, or you have lots of goals or not, everybody should have a financial plan, some sort of blueprint or map that helps guide you through the retirement process. And the best way to do that is to have really good education on the front end so that you know all of your options. But really, the relationship and the trust is what matters the most. If you don't trust us to help you, if we haven't done our job to educate you so that you know all of your options, you might not be 100% confident in that plan. And most importantly, having a plan that you can stick with for the long term is really the most important piece of this ultimately.
Matt genuinely does care about clients. He cares about his staff. He's very devoted to his family, and that very clearly comes across everything he says, everything he does.
So one of the things I come to realize when I sit here on the farm is that we provide the opportunity for people to have peace of mind. Is that when I come down here, it's so peaceful and quiet, and when I really think about it big picture, that's really what I try to offer the people that work with us, is the opportunity to have that for their life, and for their family, and for their retirement.